Have you ever felt there's more to reality than what we see? For thousands of years, Hermeticism, a mysterious tradition, has explored these questions. It teaches that the universe is a living, intelligent whole, and offers a key to understanding our place in it. At its heart is gnosis, a transformative personal knowledge that changes you from within. This ancient wisdom still holds power for those seeking answers today. The story of Hermeticism is the story of a hidden current flowing through Western civilization. Its influence can be found in the most unexpected places. It has touched philosophy, religion, science, and art. When you begin to look for it, you see its fingerprints everywhere. Think of the great minds of the Renaissance, those artists and thinkers who pulled Europe out of the Middle Ages. Many of them, like Marsilio Ficino and Pico della Mirandola, were deeply inspired by newly rediscovered Hermetic texts. They saw in these writings a pristine theology, a pure original wisdom that predated both Plato and Christianity, connecting all faiths to a single universal source. This hidden current did not stop in the Renaissance. It flowed directly into the scientific revolution. Figures we now see as the fathers of modern science were often deeply involved in Hermetic studies. Isaac Newton, the man who gave us the laws of gravity and motion, spent more time studying alchemy and Hermetic philosophy than he did on what we now call physics. He believed that the universe operated on spiritual and physical laws that were intertwined. For him, science was a way to understand the mind of God, an idea that is deeply Hermetic. This connection between spirituality and science is a key part of the Hermetic legacy. The influence of Hermeticism also extends into the world of secret societies and esoteric movements. Groups like the Rosicrucians and the Freemasons incorporated Hermetic symbols and concepts into their rituals and teachings. They saw themselves as custodians of an ancient wisdom tradition, preserving it for a time when the world would be ready to receive it. These organizations provided a space where individuals could explore ideas about the nature of reality, the soul, and human potential that were not welcome in mainstream society. Hermeticism gave them a language and a framework for their spiritual and intellectual quests, shaping the course of Western esotericism for centuries. Even today, the ideas of Hermeticism are alive and well, though they often appear under different names. They have resurfaced in modern psychology, particularly in the work of Carl Jung, who was fascinated by alchemy as a model for psychological transformation. They are present in the new thought and self-help movements, which emphasize the power of the mind to shape reality. Whenever you hear someone say, "Your thoughts create your reality," you are hearing an echo of the first Hermetic principle. This enduring relevance is what makes Hermeticism so compelling. It is a tradition that has continually adapted, speaking to the deepest needs of the human spirit in every age. Hermeticism is a quest for what is real. It teaches that the universe is mental. Everything exists within the mind of a universal consciousness called the All. As above, so below. The same patterns and laws apply on every level of reality. The principle of cause and effect reminds us nothing happens by chance. The true quest is transformation, turning our limitations into wisdom and illumination. Hermeticism was born at a crossroads where ancient Egypt's mystical wisdom met the rational philosophy of Greece. Egyptians revered Thoth, keeper of secrets and divine scribe. Greeks brought Hermes, messenger and guide between worlds. In Alexandria, these gods merged, creating Hermeticism, a bridge between cultures and a new path to wisdom. From the fusion of Egyptian and Greek traditions emerged Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary thrice-great master. His title, meaning thrice great, reflects mastery over body, mind, and spirit. Seen as sage, god, or prophet, his identity is shrouded in myth. Hermes embodied the principle, as above, so below. He remains the archetypal sage, teacher, guide, and master of Hermetic wisdom. The writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, collectively known as the Hermetica, were not written in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. They were composed in Greek between the 1st and 4th centuries CE. This period was a time of intense spiritual and intellectual ferment throughout the Roman Empire. Old religions were losing their hold, and people were searching for new, more personal forms of spiritual experience. Mystery schools, Gnostic sects, and new philosophical movements flourished, especially in cosmopolitan centers like Alexandria in Egypt. Hermeticism was born directly out of this vibrant searching atmosphere, offering a compelling new synthesis of existing wisdom traditions that spoke to the needs of the time. The Hermetic texts seamlessly weave together threads from multiple sources, creating a rich and complex tapestry of thought. The core framework is deeply influenced by Egyptian concepts of divinity, the soul's journey after death, and the power of sacred words and rituals. However, this Egyptian foundation is articulated using the language and concepts of Greek philosophy, particularly Platonism and Stoicism. From Plato comes the idea of a higher eternal world of forms or ideas of which our physical world is but a shadow. From the Stoics comes the concept of a divine logos, a universal reason or cosmic intelligence that pervades and governs all of creation. This blending was not a random cut-and-paste job. It was a deliberate and sophisticated effort to create a universal philosophy, a system that could reconcile different spiritual paths. The Hermetic writers saw themselves as restoring a single, primordial wisdom that was the common source of all religions and philosophies. By drawing on Egyptian magic, Greek philosophy, Jewish mysticism, and even elements of early Christian Gnosticism, they were attempting to show that all paths ultimately lead to the same universal truth. They believed that beneath the surface differences of culture and creed, there was a shared understanding of the divine, the cosmos, and the human soul's potential for enlightenment. This syncretic nature is one of Hermeticism's greatest strengths. It allowed it to be fluid and adaptable, capable of speaking to people from very different backgrounds. A philosopher could appreciate its logical arguments about the nature of God and reality. A magician could be drawn to its teachings on theurgy and the manipulation of cosmic forces. A mystic could find in it a path to direct union with the divine. This inherent flexibility ensured the survival and influence of Hermetic ideas, allowing them to be absorbed and reinterpreted by different cultures and movements throughout history, from the Islamic Golden Age to the European Renaissance and beyond. During the Renaissance, scholars sought the Prisca Theologia, an original wisdom believed to be given by God to humanity in ancient times. They saw Hermes Trismegistus as its first prophet, inspiring thinkers like Marsilio Ficino to recover this lost truth. This quest for universal wisdom still inspires those searching for meaning and connection today. The Hermetica, a collection of ancient texts, preserves the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. These writings, both philosophical and practical, explore the nature of God, the cosmos, and the soul, offering a path to spiritual transformation. The Emerald Tablet, for example, became the foundation of alchemy, while other texts taught astrology, magic, and the unity of as above, so below. The foundation of Hermetic philosophy is the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. The universe is not a lifeless machine but a living, conscious entity. Creation exists within the infinite mind of the all. If the universe is a mental creation, it is intelligent, responsive, and alive. Every star, planet, and person is part of this grand cosmic mentation, interconnected within the universal mind. Our thoughts are powerful forces, shaping our experience of reality. By mastering our mind, we harmonize with the cosmos, becoming conscious co-creators. As above, so below, as below, so above. This Hermetic maxim reveals a profound symmetry between all levels of existence. The same laws that govern the stars also shape the smallest cell within us. The tree's roots and branches mirror our connection to both earth and sky. Patterns repeat at every scale, reminding us everything is connected. The third Hermetic principle, vibration, teaches that nothing rests. Everything moves. All is energy in constant motion from the densest rock to the lightest thought. The only difference between matter, mind, and spirit is their rate of vibration. Spirit vibrates so rapidly it appears still. Matter so slowly it seems solid. Our emotions and thoughts are vibrations too. Fear and anger are low, love and joy are high. By consciously raising our mental vibration, we transform our experience and reality. This is the essence of Hermetic alchemy, mastering your own state, becoming the master of your energy. The principles of polarity and rhythm reveal the universe's pulse. Everything has opposites and everything flows. Opposites are just extremes of the same thing, heat and cold, love and hate. You can shift from one pole to another by changing your focus, fear to courage, hate to love. Rhythm is the swing between these poles, the rise and fall in all things. Life's ups and downs are inevitable, but you can learn to rise above the swing. The Hermeticist practices neutralization, remaining steady while the pendulum swings. Don't be ruled by moods or circumstances, choose your position on the spectrum. True peace comes from mastering your response to life's rhythms. The sixth principle, cause and effect, teaches that nothing happens by chance. Every effect has a cause. Most people are pushed by outside forces. The Hermeticist becomes a conscious cause, shaping their own destiny. By mastering your mind and actions, you plant seeds that shape your reality. The seventh principle, gender, is about the creative interplay of masculine and feminine energies within all things. Masculine energy initiates, feminine energy nurtures and manifests. True mastery is balancing both, using will to direct and receptivity to bring ideas to fruition. The Hermeticist harmonizes these forces, becoming a conscious creator. This is the path from passive observer to active participant in life. The Corpus Hermeticum, Hermeticism's core texts, are dialogues between divine teachers and seekers. The Poimandres, the most famous, describes a vision of creation and humanity's dual nature, mortal body, immortal spirit. The path back to the divine is through direct knowledge, gnosis of our true nature. These texts explore the Hermetic principles, the soul's journey, and spiritual rebirth. Unlike other traditions, Hermeticism sees the world as a reflection of the divine, not a prison. The goal is to understand and appreciate the world, recognizing the divine within all. By knowing God, we reclaim our birthright as conscious, creative beings. The Emerald Tablet, Hermeticism's practical heart, is a brief, mysterious text attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. Its core teaching, as above so below, the laws of the cosmos mirror those of the soul and matter. Alchemists saw it as the formula for transformation, both in the lab and within themselves. The tablet describes separating the subtle from the gross, purifying and uniting to achieve perfection. Its verses are poetic riddles inviting deep meditation and personal insight. The true secret is simple. Through purification and reunification, we unite heaven and earth within ourselves. The Emerald Tablet remains a timeless guide to inner and outer alchemy. The Asclepius, a key Hermetic text, presents humanity as a miracle, capable of bridging heaven and earth. It warns of a future when we forget our divine nature, leading to chaos and darkness. Yet, Hermes promises renewal. God will restore the world, reminding us of our sacred purpose. This cycle of decay and regeneration offers hope, even in the darkest times. The journey of the Hermetic texts through history is as fascinating as their content. After their creation in the early centuries of the Common Era, they circulated within the Roman Empire, influencing various Gnostic and Neoplatonic thinkers. However, with the rise of institutional Christianity and the fall of Rome, the Western world lost direct access to most of the Greek originals. Only the Latin Asclepius and scattered fragments of the technical works remained known in Europe. For nearly 1,000 years, the profound philosophical dialogues of the Corpus Hermeticum were largely forgotten in the West, their wisdom hidden from view like a river flowing underground. The texts, however, were not lost entirely. They were preserved and studied in the Byzantine Empire and, crucially, in the Islamic world. Arab scholars in the Middle Ages held Hermes Trismegistus in high esteem, viewing him as an ancient prophet of wisdom. They translated many of the Hermetic writings into Arabic, where they were studied alongside Greek philosophy and science. These scholars, particularly those interested in alchemy and astrology, kept the Hermetic flame alive. It was through this Arabic transmission that key texts like the Emerald Tablet eventually made their way back into medieval Europe, sparking the rise of Western alchemy. The great turning point for Hermeticism in the West came in the 15th century, during the height of the Italian Renaissance. Around 1460, a monk working for Cosimo de' Medici, the powerful ruler of Florence, discovered a nearly complete Greek manuscript of the Corpus Hermeticum. Cosimo considered this discovery so important that he ordered his leading scholar, Marsilio Ficino, to stop his translation of Plato's dialogues and immediately translate the Hermetic texts into Latin. The publication of Ficino's translation in 1471 caused a sensation across Europe. It was as if a lost voice from the dawn of time had suddenly begun to speak again. This rediscovery had a profound impact on the Renaissance mind. Thinkers were electrified by the idea of a prisca theologia, an ancient wisdom that predated and unified all other philosophies and religions. The Hermetic text provided a spiritual and philosophical framework that justified the Renaissance's deep interest in magic, alchemy, and humanity's creative power. They offered a vision of the human being not as a lowly sinner, but as a divine co-creator, a magus capable of understanding and participating in the work of the cosmos. The rediscovery of these texts did not just revive an old philosophy, it helped to ignite a new age of intellectual and spiritual exploration that would shape the course of Western history. The rediscovery of the Corpus Hermeticum in 15th century Florence sparked a new vision of humanity, igniting the Renaissance imagination. Hermetic writings offered an optimistic view, the universe as a divine creation, and humanity as holding a privileged place within it. This inspired the archetype of the Renaissance magus, an empowered thinker uniting science, art, and spirituality. This powerful image of human potential and transformation would echo for centuries. Alchemy, rooted in Hermeticism, was more than turning lead to gold. It was a spiritual and scientific quest. Guided by the Emerald Tablet, alchemists sought to perfect both metals and themselves. Even pioneers like Newton and Boyle were shaped by these traditions, blending alchemy and science in their search to understand nature's deepest secrets. Hermeticism shaped Renaissance art and architecture, embedding deep symbolism and cosmic order into masterpieces. Botticelli's works, created for the Medici, are filled with Neoplatonic and Hermetic allegories. Architects like Alberti and Palladio used harmony and sacred geometry to mirror the universe's divine order. These creations are living diagrams of the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. As the intellectual climate shifted with the Enlightenment and the rise of a more mechanistic worldview, the explicit study of Hermeticism became less acceptable in mainstream academia. The tradition did not disappear, however, it simply went underground, finding a new home within the discreet and protected confines of secret societies and esoteric fraternities. Groups like the Rosicrucians and the Freemasons became the new custodians of the Hermetic wisdom, preserving its symbols, rituals, and philosophical teachings for initiates who were deemed ready to receive them. These organizations provided a safe haven for individuals to explore the very ideas that were being dismissed by the official culture. The Rosicrucian movement, which burst into public view in the early 17th century with the publication of anonymous manifestos, was explicitly Hermetic in its orientation. It called for a universal reformation of humanity based on the secret wisdom of a mythical founder, Christian Rosenkreuz, who was said to have traveled to the East and learned the secrets of alchemy, magic, and cosmic harmony. The Rosicrucians presented themselves as heirs to the ancient wisdom tradition, tasked with healing the divisions in science, religion, and politics. Their symbolism, full of alchemical and astrological references, was a direct continuation of the Renaissance Hermetic current. Freemasonry, which formally organized in the 18th century but has roots that go back further, also absorbed a significant amount of Hermetic philosophy. While not exclusively a Hermetic organization, its rituals and allegories are rich with Hermetic concepts. The Masonic journey of the candidate from darkness to light, the symbolism of the two pillars, the focus on building a spiritual temple within oneself, and the use of sacred geometry all echo core Hermetic themes. Freemasonry provided a structure where the principles of self-improvement, universal brotherhood, and the search for divine truth, all central to Hermeticism, could be pursued by men of the new rational age in a symbolic and ritualistic context. These and other esoteric groups such as the Martinists and various magical orders that emerged in the 19th century, like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, formed a continuous if hidden stream of influence. They acted as libraries of a forbidden knowledge, passing down the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus from one generation to the next. They reinterpreted the ancient wisdom for their own times, blending it with other traditions like the Kabbalah and Egyptian magic. Through these secretive channels, Hermeticism not only survived the age of rationalism, but also evolved, preparing the ground for its major resurgence in the modern era. The influence of Hermeticism on Western philosophy extends far beyond the Renaissance magi who first embraced it. Its ideas continued to resonate, often in mutated or secularized forms, within the work of some of history's most revolutionary thinkers. The philosopher Giordano Bruno, a Dominican friar who was ultimately burned at the stake for heresy in 1600, is a key transitional figure. Bruno was a passionate Hermeticist who took the concept of the living divine universe to its logical conclusion. He argued that the universe was infinite, that it contained countless worlds like our own, and that God was not a distant creator but was immanent within the entirety of creation. Bruno's radical vision, deeply rooted in was a direct challenge to both religious orthodoxy and the established Aristotelian cosmology. While he was condemned in his own time, his ideas were profoundly influential on later philosophers. Baruch Spinoza's concept of God, or Deus sive natura, meaning God or nature, which sees God and the natural world as two aspects of a single infinite substance, is a more systematic and rationalized version of Bruno's Hermetic pantheism. The idea that divinity is not outside of the world but is the world itself is a powerful Hermetic echo that reverberated through the Enlightenment. Later, during the Romantic era of the late 18th and early 19th centuries, Hermetic ideas experienced another powerful resurgence. The Romantic poets and philosophers reacted against what they saw as the cold, sterile mechanism of the Enlightenment. They longed for a re-enchantment of the world, a return to a view of nature as a living spiritual entity, not a dead machine. Thinkers like Goethe in Germany, and poets like William Blake and Percy Bysshe Shelley in England, championed the power of imagination, intuition, and direct experience of the divine in nature. Their work is saturated with a Hermetic sensibility, celebrating the correspondence between the human soul and the soul of the world. William Blake's famous lines, "To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wildflower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour," are a perfect poetic expression of the Hermetic principle of correspondence. This Romantic revival of Hermetic themes was crucial because it translated the ancient philosophy into a modern artistic and emotional language. It ensured that the core ideas, the living universe, the power of the mind, and the sacredness of nature, would continue to inspire those seeking an alternative to pure materialism, influencing later movements like American Transcendentalism and the spiritual explorations of the 20th century. In the late 20th century, Hermetic ideas found new life in the New Age movement, a blend of Eastern mysticism, Western esotericism, and psychology. The core belief that the universe is mental and thought is creative now underpins popular ideas like manifestation and the law of attraction. Astrology, crystals, and tarot all echo Hermetic principles, as above, so below, linking cosmic patterns to personal growth. Today, the New Age democratizes the ancient quest for self-knowledge and transformation, inviting everyone to explore their own inner alchemy. Carl Jung, inspired by Hermetic and alchemical traditions, saw alchemy as a metaphor for the soul's journey toward wholeness. He modeled individuation, the integration of conscious and unconscious, as the modern great work. Jung's ideas, like synchronicity and shadow work, echo Hermetic principles, shaping modern psychology's approach to healing and self-discovery. Hermeticism's mysterious symbols and ideas still inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers, weaving through modern culture as a hidden thread. Stories of wise mentors, magical forces, and shaping reality echo Hermetic teachings. Films like The Matrix and books like The Alchemist retell these ancient ideas, keeping Hermetic wisdom alive for new generations. In a world of disconnection and routine, Hermeticism offers ancient wisdom for the modern seeker. Its principles, mentalism, correspondence, rhythm, and polarity, remind us our thoughts shape reality, and that we are deeply connected to the universe. Hermeticism invites us to transform ourselves, live consciously, and find meaning in every moment. The quest for Gnosis winds through hidden corridors of history: Egypt, Greece, the Renaissance, and our digital age. Hermeticism is a golden thread in Western thought, urging us to unlock the divine within. Its principles are living tools for transformation, not just relics of the past. The Hermetic path is a journey of self-realization. Knowing ourselves, we know the universe. The teachings of Hermes Trismegistus are an open invitation, keys to be tested, not commandments to obey. They encourage fearless exploration and personal transformation, inviting us to see the world with new eyes. The door to the temple is open. The invitation has been extended. Will you step across the threshold?